Okay, these are the things that we'll need to do ears. We need quick starting fluid with no upper lube. That just adds an oil to it, so just starting fluid. The tape I get from Wickets by Mail. It's 2 inches, and it's double-sided carpet tape. This is to coat the ear with. It's benzoid compound or tincture of benzoid. You get it from the drugstore. At Rexall Drugs, it's on the shelf. Other places you have to order it. It only takes a day. And it's a preparation to make the inside of the ear a little stickier. Permabond is what we are going to, Wickets by Mail again, paint the double stick tape with in order to put it in the ear. This is Japanese tape. I'm going to use that to reinforce the inside corner of the brace and to go across from one end of the outside ear across the whole thing to the other side of the outside ear. The yarn is cotton, not acrylic, so it doesn't stretch. So you just pull it with your fingers when you get to the store, make sure it doesn't stretch. Okay, bring it up here and we'll make one of these deals. I cut about this much tape of the double stick carpet tape, and then, oops, sorry, take your yarn, fold it over, put it right at the edge. This is so you loop it so it doesn't come out, so it stays in towards the bottom. Leave some at the top so that you can trim it to the size that you need. Peel it over and press it. Now when you take the measurement of the ear, you go from that inside nodule to measure to where you want the break. This is too big because I want the break lower than that, so I'll have to trim it. I trim off all the edges that might poke the puppy, and you want to make sure that you don't get any hair stuck behind, because that will drive the puppy insane and keep the puppy scratching at the ears. And I use the other one to measure once I've got it the right way, where I want, and that's about right. That's just about right. So we'll do the second one the same, measured against the first one. So that they match, so that your ears are not one up and one down, and they're not the same, because that little nodule is going to be the same in both sets of ears. Okay, now we're going to clean the ear with the starting fluid. Let's get over there. You don't want to put too much on it, because you don't want anything dripping when you press it, because if you get it in the inside of the ear, down into the ear, the puppy will go insane. It must burn. So we're just cleaning the part of the ear, because nothing's going to stick to dirt or wax where the brace is going to go. Once it's clean, right down to that nodule, right to the tip, let it dry for a minute. Then we use the tincture of benzoid, which can be a dark brown or it can be clear, depending on what company you get it from. In this case, it's dark brown, but clear is okay too. It does the same thing. And this is we're just going to use this and let it dry right to where that brace is going to go. Let that dry for a minute and it'll get tacky. While that's getting tacky, we're going to use the Perma-type surgical cement. Peel off the backing. That's again wicketsbymail.com. Paint both sides. with the surgical cement. You want the air to dry this a little bit, so either blow on it or just let it hang out for a minute. While this is, or tack it around one way or the other. Look for that nodule, use it as the guideline. Put it in, press on both sides, press the tip to the outside of the ear. Now you're going to have a little exposed tape right there, which will catch hair if you don't cover it up. So we're going to use the Japanese tape, which I have to open a new box, to cover that up. Don't let them chew the yarn. This yarn's stuck on me. We're going to use about an inch. Everything's sticking to me. And then cut it diagonally. Go to where it's exposed and just reinforce that inside corner, because that's what's going to come loose first. And cover up as much as you can of the exposed brace that you just put in. Pinch all the air bubbles out and loop that over so the puppy doesn't chew it. Press, and sometimes you hear a little air bubble go. If that's the case, just keep. Now you want it to dry, and you can't tie it together until it's made a good adhesion. So we're back to gluing again. Not too much. Don't make it goopy, because it's got to dry. You just want enough to cover everything. But not too skimpy either. Okay, now you're going to have to tie them together, so you want both pieces of yarn facing each other. Find that nodule, place it there. Take the tip of the ear, press it to the outside. Now press down on so it gets a good adherence. Let's go back to the Japanese tape. Another inch. As the puppy gets bigger, you'll use a little bigger. If you've got a more exposed area, use a little bigger triangle. Use the other one, which I had left over, to cover up more. Press it in there really good. Did you hear that little pop? That was an air bubble that was still in there. So now you've got the basis of your whole braces all set. Look at the tips are to the outside. All the sticky stuff is covered. Don't lose most of it. You're going to let it dry. For the sake of brevity, I'm going to do it right now so that you can see it. But you take both loops. You're going to make about 4 or 5. Take them right together. knots right in a row, because then they'll come loose if you only make one. There. Now I know they look silly, but when they come apart, we're not done yet. The Japanese tape, depending on how deep the ear is and how big the ear is, take the Japanese tape and go all the way across from one end to the puppy to the other. Start at the outside of the ear, take it all the way across the bow to the outside of the other ear. Then come through here, underneath the bow. Make sure no hair is stuck. Pull some hair out in front of it to protect it, and then put your thumbs in there and pinch really hard so that the tape makes a good adherence. And you can push it back a little bit. Now if you're doing a ruff, this is really important to get the hair out of the knots. I did it smooth so you could see her a little easier and see what I was doing, but make sure that all the hair is picked out. If you have to, you can trim it a little bit. Press all the edges down. And there you have it. The ears are done. Good girl. Okay, done.